Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Richard Miner. I'm the Graduate Engagement Officer here at One Spirit Learning Alliance in New York City. And today I am so excited and happy to be here with Reverend David Wallace. David, thank you for joining me.
Richard, I'm just delighted. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for this invitation.
David, we are all so excited to have you back at One Spirit. You're going to be joining us very, very soon. You're going to be teaching a class called Encountering the Tao, which will be covering this very important ancient text. Can you tell me, why do you think it's important to be studying the Tao at this time?
Oh, Richard, thanks. You know, the Tao Te Ching was written about 2,500 years ago, and it's one of the primary spiritual texts in the world literature. Lao Tzu was the author traditionally, and somehow within his poetry and wisdom, he offers a path for mystery itself to be embodied in our daily life. We're in a time where it's so easy to get lost, and we need reminders that there's a larger vision, a larger way to perceive our lives, our reality, and the Tao holds this mystery beautifully. It's just 81 verses. It's short and simple. Traditionally, the story goes that Lao Tzu, who was a sage but also worked in the government in China, was fed up with politics, was fed up with the lies and the corruption, and he fled China. But as he left, the gatekeeper asked him to just write down what he knew of the Tao and the Zhi, that is to say, the Tao Te Ching. So Jing means book, Tao means the way, Te means the embodiment or the virtue or the power. And so Lao Tzu, in this story, gets off his ox and just begins to write this extraordinary text which holds wisdom that will change your life. I've been reading this book since I was a child. Houston Smith says to us, you know, you can read the Tao in an hour, or you can read the Tao in a lifetime. Every time I return to this book, it's brand new. There's so many extraordinary pearls in this book, pearls of image, many of them giving us the feminine vision of the world, the lunar vision of the world, images of the moon, images of water, of the softness. Lao Tzu understood something that few of us are able to participate in the whole of our life, which is this idea of flow, of yin and yang, of finding the way through, not torn by the opposites, but embracing them. He also understood that the nature of things was that mystery itself always finds name and category and opposition. So of course we're confused and we're angry and we're fighting all the times in the political world. But the way, you see, the Tao invites us into a higher vision, into the vision of the more natural world in which all of that is okay because it's not the truth. The Tao opens by saying, if we can speak it, we haven't got it. We think we're walking it, we're not walking it, because always it's higher and more mysterious than our little human minds can grasp. So that's kind of an answer to your question. I know that was a lot all at once, but I love this book so much.
David, it's obvious how much you love this book and how really, really passionate you are about it. And I know that you have studied it for many years. I can't think of anyone that I would rather study this important sacred text with. Can you tell me a little bit about what will happen during the class itself?
Yeah, sure. You know, what I do at One Spirit is I offer the ancient texts in close reading. So often we think these old things are too highfalutin, you know, they're in bad translations. They don't engage us because they're in Victorian English. So we'll be reading Jonathan Starr's translation of the Tao Te Ching, and we'll, along with I'll have about a dozen other translations around so that we can play with the translations. We're going to do a close reading of the entire book and listen to the questions that it invites. The questions of how we are going to live ourselves, the questions of how we're going to perceive the world. And then the end of the book is about leadership. What does it mean to be a leader? What does it mean to be a leader in a troubled time? And what does it mean to be a leader for our own self? One of the images in the book is that of the sage. How can we live as sages in a crazy time? Lao Tzu says it's possible.
This sounds like this is going to be truly a wonderful class, and I know I am looking forward to taking it myself. It's coming up very soon. It's going to be Tuesday evenings for 4 Tuesdays in a row. It's going to start on March 12th. The class will go from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be available with David in the classroom. It will also be available across the web on video conference via Zoom and for audio download recordings after the class is concluded. David, thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us.
Always a delight to see you. Thank you.
It has been a great pleasure, and I will look forward to seeing you at One Spirit very soon.
Blessings, blessings.